The council chamber gleamed with golden light. Tall pillars rose high into the sky, banners of alien empires hanging from the walls. Thousands of voices filled the air, echoing through the grand hall. At the center stood the council speaker, a tall avian figure draped in silver robes. His sharp voice rang out across the chamber. "Let it be recorded. Humanity is no more." The words carried like thunder. A roar of approval followed. Alien generals slammed claws, wings, and fists against their tables. Their laughter filled the air, rolling through the chamber like a storm. "The humans are gone," one reptilian general shouted, his scales glittering in the light. "Their colonies are dust. Their fleets are wrecks. Their worlds are ruins." Another voice hissed from the balconies, an insectoid delegate with long, sharp limbs. "Erase them from the records. Humanity is extinct." The crowd cheered louder. Only one figure stood silent. At the far end of the chamber, in the place reserved for the human delegation, stood a lone envoy. A woman dressed in a plain black uniform. No weapons. No guards. No allies. Ambassador Leona Hale. She did not speak. She did not move. She simply watched as the council laughed at the death of her people. The reptilian general pointed a claw at her, his grin sharp as blades. "Look at her." The last human voice in this hall. Powerless. Silent. Finished. The insectoid delegate snapped his mandibles. "Do you deny it, human? Do you deny your extinction?" All eyes turned to her. The hall fell quiet, waiting for her reply. But Ambassador Hale said nothing. Her silence cut deeper than any words. Far across the stars, in empty systems thought abandoned, old machines stirred. In the shadow of asteroids, black shapes slept. Their hulls were hidden by dust and rock, their engines long cold. But now, one by one, they began to glow faint red. Silent signals pulsed through the void, carried on encrypted waves. A message repeated over and over. "Awaken." Deep within, ancient warships responded. Dreadnoughts the size of cities hummed awake. Cruisers unfolded their wings. Carriers lit their massive bays. The armada was stirring. Back in the chamber, the council speaker raised his wings high. "It is decided. Humanity shall be stricken from all records. Their seat in this chamber is hereby erased. From this day forward, they are nothing." The crowd erupted again. Alien voices cheered, mocking laughter filled the air. Some delegates pounded their fists against the tables, chanting in rhythm. "Extinct! Extinct! Extinct!" The chant rolled through the chamber like a wave. Still, Ambassador Hale did not bow. She lifted her wrist slightly. A small device hidden beneath her sleeve blinked once, sending a signal across the stars. No one noticed. From the balconies, a young alien officer from a minor world rose to his feet. His voice was nervous but strong. "My lords, forgive me, but if humanity is extinct, then why does she not resist? Why does she not even speak?" The reptilian general snarled at him. "Because she knows her race is dead." But the officer shook his head. His eyes locked on the silent envoy. "No. It feels like something else. It feels like waiting." The chamber grew restless. Whispers spread like cracks in glass. Waiting? For what? Ambassador Hale finally lifted her head. Her voice was soft, but every word carried like steel. "You think humanity gone. You believe your vote can erase us. But the galaxy does not decide our fate." Her eyes swept across the room. "You do not fear extinction. You fear memory. And you fear what waits in the dark." The insectoid delegate hissed, his mandibles clattering. "Empty words. Your kind is finished." Her lips curved in the faintest of smiles. "Then tell me, why do you still whisper one name when you think no one hears?" The chamber froze. Delegates shifted nervously. The word passed from one row to another, whispered like a ghost. "Red Captain." the reptilian general roared to silence them. He is gone. A ghost. Humanity has no saviors left. But the young officer whispered again, his voice trembling. What if he was only waiting? The chamber shivered with silence. Above a barren star system, an alien scout fleet picked up strange signals. Their monitors flickered, static filling the screens. Shadows in the dark. Red engines, too many. It's them, it's... The transmission cut. No scout ever returned. Back in the council chamber, Ambassador Hale stood tall, her voice calm. You declare us extinct. But soon, you will see the truth. Humanity does not vanish. Humanity prepares. Her words fell heavy across the chamber. No laughter followed. Far away, on the bridge of a massive flagship hidden in the void, a scarred man watched his fleet awaken. His eyes burned with cold fire as thousands of ships aligned into perfect formation. Red Captain. His voice was quiet, but it carried like thunder. Let them declare us extinct. Soon, the galaxy will know we have returned. And in the silence of space, Earth's armada waited. The Council's decree spread quickly across the galaxy. News drones broadcast the words to every empire, every colony, every world. Humanity was declared extinct. Their seat in the chamber erased. Their story closed. Crowds cheered in alien cities. Generals raised their banners high. For many, it was a day of triumph, a final victory over a dangerous predator once feared. But in the shadows, not everyone celebrated. Some listened to the silence of the human envoy. Some remembered her words, humanity prepares. And soon, the silence began to break. Far from the bright worlds of the Council, on the edge of forgotten space, alien scout fleets patrolled. Their task was simple, confirm the humans were truly gone. The first scout group flew past Earth's ruined orbit. The planet was scarred, its cities broken, its skies dark. Sensors showed no fleets, no colonies, no defense. Nothing left, the commander said, his voice filled with satisfaction. The Council was right. The humans are finished. But then, a sensor officer frowned. Wait, something is moving. The screen flickered. A shadow appeared, just for a second, before vanishing. Then the transmission went silent. The scout fleet was never heard from again. A week later, another squadron entered a dead system near a frozen moon. The officers laughed as they scanned the skies. No signals. No power signatures. Empty. Their laughter ended when the stars shifted. Black shapes slid out from behind the moon. Their engines glowed faint red. Their hulls reflected no light, no banners, no markings, only silence. One officer screamed into the comms. Unidentified ships. Dozens, no, hundreds. The last words cut short as static filled the channel. The fleet vanished. Reports trickled into the council chamber. First, one fleet missing. Then another. Then another. Always near abandoned sectors. Always near human ruins. At first, the generals dismissed it. Pirates, the reptilian general growled. Malfunction, the insectoid delegate hissed. Nothing of value in those sectors. But the young alien officer spoke again, his eyes wide with fear. No. It is something else. The ships are not lost. They are erased. Something waits in the dark. His words made the chamber uneasy. Whispers spread again. One name surfaced, carried on quiet voices. Red Captain. Ambassador Hale stood silently in her black uniform. She never defended herself, never argued, never begged. But her eyes told the truth, she knew what the council did not. Finally, she spoke, her voice calm. You call us extinct. Then why do your fleets not return? The reptilian general roared at her. Tricks. Lies. You seek to frighten us with shadows. But Hale only tilted her head slightly. Perhaps you should ask yourself why shadows frighten you so much. Far away, deep in the void, the armada stirred. On the bridge of the Iron Resolve, a human captain reported. Enemy scouts neutralized. No transmissions escaped. Red Captain stood at the center, scarred face half lit by the glow of tactical screens. His voice was cold, steady. Good. Let them wonder. Let them whisper. Fear is stronger when it grows in silence. Around him, thousands of ships waited in formation, their engines glowing faint red, their weapons hidden but ready. The galaxy thought them extinct. The galaxy was wrong. In the council chamber, panic grew. Delegates shouted over one another, voices breaking. Our scouts are gone. Entire fleets vanish. Something moves in the dead systems. The insectoid delegate slammed his claw. We must send more fleets. Thousands of ships. Burn the ruins and scatter the shadows. The reptilian general snarled. Yes. Crush whatever lingers before it grows. But others hesitated. One avian delegate shook his head. If shadows can erase fleets, what will they do to armies? The chamber grew restless. Fear spread like cracks through stone. Ambassador Hale's voice cut through the noise. Calm. Sharp. Unshaken. You erased us with your vote. You declared us extinct with your words. But the stars do not listen to your decrees. Her eyes swept the chamber. Humanity is not gone. Humanity waits. Above a distant barren world, another scout fleet approached. Their sensors picked up faint signals, too faint to trace. Stay sharp, the commander warned. But it was too late. From the darkness, massive human dreadnoughts emerged, their cannons glowing like red suns. Smaller cruisers unfolded around them, sleek and black. The scouts screamed into their comms, it's them. Humans. The signal cut. Another fleet lost. Back in the chamber, the council speaker tried to calm the panic. Silence. These are accidents, nothing more. Humanity is extinct. But the words rang hollow. The whispers grew louder. Delegates turned their eyes toward the human envoy. Toward her silence. Toward the shadow of Red Captain's name. For the first time, no one laughed. And in the dark, the armada waited. Its time was coming. For weeks, the council chamber had grown restless. Scouts vanished. Fleets disappeared into silence. Whispers of shadows with red engines filled the halls. But the generals still clung to their pride. The humans are finished, the reptilian general roared before the chamber. His golden armor gleamed, though his scales trembled beneath it. Our enemies vanish because of pirates, because of storms, because of accidents. Not because of ghosts. The insectoid delegate slammed his claw, mandibles clicking. Yes. The humans are extinct. I will prove it. Moments later, a transmission blazed across the chamber. An alien admiral appeared on the display, his crest high, his voice sharp. We have found them. A single colony ship, drifting near the void. Broken. Helpless. The chamber erupted with cheers. The last humans. Extinct at last. Finish them. The broadcast shifted. On the giant screen above the chamber, the colony ship appeared. It was massive, old, and scarred from centuries of flight. Its hull was cracked, its engines sputtered faint blue sparks. Pieces of debris floated around it like shattered bones. It looked weak. Helpless. This is all that remains of Earth's children, the admiral declared proudly. We will burn it here, for the galaxy to see. The delegates shouted in triumph. Their voices filled the hall like thunder. But in the center of the chamber, Ambassador Hale stood silent, her face unreadable. On the colony ship, Captain Elias Knox watched the alien fleet tighten its circle around them. His crew looked weary, their uniforms faded, their hands shaking at their stations. One officer whispered, "Sir, we cannot win. We are surrounded." Knox's eyes narrowed. Good. Let them think we are helpless. He pressed a command. Hidden codes pulsed through the ship's systems. Long silent mechanisms stirred. Panels slid open. Engines rumbled with new life. The ship was no helpless relic. It was bait. The alien admiral laughed as his weapons locked on. Fire on my command. Erase the last humans. But before he could finish, the colony ship's hull shifted. Its scars opened into weapon ports. Railguns unfolded. Plasma cannons hummed alive. The first shot struck like thunder. A railgun slug ripped through the nearest alien cruiser, splitting it in half. Plasma fire lit the void, shredding fighters into clouds of debris. The admiral's laughter turned to a scream. Impossible! Fire! Fire! In the council chamber, chaos erupted. Delegates jumped to their feet as the broadcast showed the helpless colony ship tearing through its enemies. The insectoid delegate shrieked. No! This cannot be. That ship was broken. The young alien officer whispered, his voice trembling but clear. Not broken. Waiting. The words spread through the chamber like fire. On the battlefield, the alien fleet swarmed. Hundreds of cannons fired. Plasma storms hammered the colony ship. Decks shook, alarms blared, and fire tore across its hull. But Captain Knox stood tall. His voice was steady. Hold the line. Just a little longer. His crew obeyed. Railguns answered. Torpedoes cut through battleships. Enemy formations shattered again and again. The galaxy watched live as a single human ship fought like a fleet. On the Iron Resolve, far away, Red Captain stood on his bridge. His scarred face lit by the glow of tactical screens, he watched the feed in silence. Sir, an officer said, they believe this is our last ship. Red Captain's lips curved into the faintest smile. Good. Let them believe. The higher their pride, the harder their fall. Back in the chamber, the delegates shouted in panic. It cannot be just one ship. They are extinct. They must be extinct. Why do they fight like this? Ambassador Hale finally spoke. Her voice was calm, sharp as a blade. You thought us gone. You thought us weak. But humanity does not vanish. Humanity waits. Her eyes burned as the colony ship on the screen unleashed another storm of fire. Then, the void trembled. From hyperspace, black shapes emerged. Dozens at first. Then hundreds. Sleek warships, engines glowing faint red, sliding into perfect formation around the colony ship. The Armada had arrived. The alien admiral's voice broke into panic. Retreat. Retreat now. But it was too late. The trap was sprung. The galaxy watched in horror as human ships closed around the alien fleet. The last colony ship had been the bait. The real war had just begun. The galaxy held its breath. The broadcast from the battle spread everywhere, alien homes, colonies, war councils, even the deepest mines and tallest spires. Billions watched as the last human colony ship fought like a beast, tearing through fleets that should have crushed it. And then they saw what came next. From hyperspace, black warships appeared one by one. At first, only a few. Then dozens. Then hundreds. Engines glowed red like burning embers. Their hulls reflected no light. Their cannons bristled with silence. The Armada was returning. On the battlefield, Captain Elias Knox stood on the bridge of the colony ship. His crew, battered and bloodied, stared in awe as wave after wave of human warships arrived to surround them. One officer whispered, "Sir, it's them. The fleet. The Armada." Knox nodded slowly. We were never alone. In the council chamber, the broadcast froze the delegates. Silence pressed down heavier than stone. The insectoid delegates' mandibles clattered uncontrollably. No, no, this is a trick. A lie. The reptilian general slammed his claws against the table, his voice shaking with forced rage. It cannot be. They cannot have this many ships. But the young alien officer rose again, his voice trembling yet strong. We declare them extinct. And yet, they return. Whispers spread like fire. One name carried above them all. Red Captain. Far away, aboard the Iron Resolve, Red Captain himself watched from his command throne. His scarred face was calm, unreadable. His officers reported in steady voices. All ships in formation. Enemy fleets breaking apart. Broadcasts confirmed across all empires. Red Captain clasped his hands behind his back. His voice was low, steady, merciless. Let them watch. Let them see the first wave. Their fear will do the rest. On the battlefield, alien admirals screamed into their comms. Regroup. Fight them back. Do not retreat. But their fleets were already in chaos. Human cruisers moved with flawless precision, cutting through them like a blade through cloth. Gravity lances bent entire destroyers in half. Railgun slugs split carriers apart. Drone swarms tore fighters into burning clouds. The galaxy gasped. This was no desperate fight for survival. This was a hunt. Back in the chamber, panic replaced arrogance. Delegates shouted over one another. They cannot have hidden this. Where did they build it? How many ships do they have? Ambassador Hale stood calm in the center. Her black uniform caught the chamber's light. Her eyes were cold, her face sharp as iron. You erased us from your records, she said. But while you laughed, we built. While you mocked, we prepared. While you declared us extinct, we sharpened our blades. She lifted her chin slightly, her voice cutting through their fear. And now, the galaxy remembers. On the battlefield, alien fleets broke apart completely. Some ships fled into hyperspace. Others surrendered their weapons, shutting down their engines. The few who fought on were torn apart in storms of fire. Captain Knox looked out at the burning void. His voice was steady. Transmit the signal. Let the galaxy see. The feed spread faster than light, reaching every world, every colony, every empire. Billions of eyes widened as the Black Armada filled the skies. On the Iron Resolve, an officer turned toward Red Captain. Sir, the galaxy knows now. They see us. The scarred commander's lips curved into the faintest smile. Good. Let them whisper our name in every hall. Let them tremble when they hear it. The first return is enough. In the council chamber, fear suffocated the air. The insectoid delegate trembled, mandibles clicking weakly. The reptilian general lowered his eyes, his claws scraping uselessly against the table. And the young alien officer whispered words no one dared deny. Humanity is not extinct. Humanity has returned. Above the council world, news drones replayed the images again and again, black warships sliding into formation, their cannons glowing red, their silence more terrifying than fire. The galaxy trembled. The first return had begun. The void was burning. The alien fleets that once mocked Earth now scattered in chaos. Dreadnoughts cracked under railgun fire. Destroyers twisted apart in gravity lances. Fighters fell in swarms, shredded by drones faster than light. The galaxy watched every second of it. Billions sat frozen before their screens as the Death World fleet tore through enemies like predators through prey. But this was only the beginning. From hyperspace, more black shapes arrived. At first, dozens. Then hundreds. Then thousands. Each new wave formed in perfect silence, engines glowing faint red. The armada stretched across the void, blotting out suns, casting shadows on entire worlds. Alien admirals screamed in disbelief. No! It is impossible. They cannot have built this. No race could hide so many ships. Yet there they were, ships beyond counting. On the Iron Resolve, Red Captain stood calm, his scarred face lit by the glow of tactical displays. His officers reported steadily. Seventh wave has arrived. Outer flanks sealed. Enemy reinforcements intercepted. Red Captain's voice was low, cold, merciless. Form the wall. Surround them. Show them how the hunters return. The alien fleets panicked. Some tried to retreat into hyperspace, but human interceptors blocked every lane. Others attempted to regroup, but precision strikes broke them apart. A council admiral shouted in despair, his voice caught on every broadcast. They fight like no fleet we've seen before. Not like soldiers, like predators. His words were his last. His ship vanished in a storm of red fire. In the council chamber, chaos erupted. Delegates shouted, screamed, clawed at one another. Where did they build this fleet? How long have they hidden it? Why did we not see? The reptilian general roared, his claws digging into the table. It is not possible. No race builds in silence for so long. Ambassador Hale finally lifted her head. Her voice was steady, cutting through the noise like steel. You never looked. You never listened. While you mocked us, we built in the dark. While you declared us extinct, we forged an armada. Her eyes swept across the trembling chamber. You erased us from your records. But history remembers builders in silence. On the battlefield, humanity's weapons revealed their full fury. Railguns fired in endless storms, each slug striking with surgical precision. Gravity lances bent ships into twisted wreckage. Carriers launched wave after wave of autonomous drones, shredding anything that moved. Alien commanders screamed for surrender, but even surrender brought no mercy. The armada closed in, wall by wall, like wolves circling prey. The galaxy gasped as entire alien fleets vanished in minutes. Back on the Iron Resolve, an officer turned toward Red Captain. Sir, the enemy is broken. Their resistance is gone. Red Captain's scarred face did not move. His voice was calm. Good. Do not destroy them all. Leave survivors. Fear spreads faster when carried by the living. The officers obeyed. Ships pulled back slightly, leaving just enough of the enemy to escape. The survivors fled in terror, broadcasting their horror across the stars. In the council chamber, the insectoid delegate collapsed into his seat, mandibles clattering helplessly. No empire can stand against this, no army, no world. The reptilian general stared at the screen, his pride shattered. His voice was barely a whisper. They were never gone. They were never weak. They were waiting. The young alien officer nodded, his voice quiet but unshaken. They are hunters. And we are the prey. Above the council world, more human ships arrived, larger than the rest. Titans the size of cities, bristling with weapons never seen before. Their shadows covered oceans. Their engines shook the skies. The armada was endless. On every world, the broadcasts spread. Insectoid hives went silent. Reptilian fortresses locked their gates. Avian spires lowered their banners. Entire empires trembled at the same vision, black ships blotting out suns, weapons glowing like fire. The council had declared humanity extinct. But now, the galaxy knew the truth. Humanity was more alive than ever. And they had been hiding an armada built for vengeance. On the Iron Resolve, Red Captain spoke his final command of the day. Hold position. Do not strike the council world. Let them look to the sky and see their mistake. His scarred lips curved into the faintest smile. Let them remember what they tried to erase. The broadcasts ended. The silence remained. The galaxy trembled. The council chamber was no longer a hall of power. It had become a cage of fear. The golden banners of alien empires hung heavy, but their meaning was gone. The great voices that once laughed at Earth now cracked under silence. Above them, on the massive display, the Black Armada filled the skies of the council world. Billions on the surface looked upward. Their suns were hidden. Their oceans and cities drowned in the shadow of human ships. No one laughed now. The insectoid delegate slammed his claw against the railing, his mandibles clattering wildly. This is madness. The humans were dead. Dead. The reptilian general roared, his scales trembling. They cannot hold this much power. We are the Council, we are the galaxy. Strike them. Fight them. But his roar was hollow. His eyes betrayed the truth, fear. Other delegates shouted in desperation. Why do they not fire? What do they want from us? Why do they wait? Ambassador Hale stood calm in the center of the chamber. Her black uniform reflected the cold light, her hands folded neatly behind her back. She spoke with quiet sharpness. You declare us extinct. You erased us with your words. But now you see the truth. Her eyes swept across the chamber. Humanity was never gone. Humanity was preparing. On the Iron Resolve, Red Captain watched the tactical displays. His officers reported steadily, their voices calm despite the scale of the armada outside. All Council fleets neutralized. Outer sectors broken. Broadcasts confirmed across all empires. Red Captain's scarred face was unreadable. He spoke with iron calm. Good. The battle is over. Now the war begins. In the chamber, the insectoid delegate's mandibles clattered uncontrollably. If you have strength, then use it. Destroy us now. Another delegate shouted, wings trembling. If you mean to conquer us, then say it. What do you want? Red Captain's boots echoed across the marble floor as he entered the chamber. Every voice fell silent. He stood tall, his long black coat hanging heavy, scars cutting across his face like maps of war. His eyes burned with cold fire. You ask what I want? His voice was not loud, yet it carried through every corner of the chamber. You declare us extinct. You erased us from your records. You mocked us, you laughed at us, you told yourselves we were nothing. He lifted his hand toward the display showing the armada outside. And still, here we stand. The reptilian general tried to roar again, but his voice cracked. No, this is illusion, it cannot be real. But Red Captain stepped closer, his shadow falling across the chamber floor. You fear illusions? Then why does your world tremble under our engines? Why do your fleets run? Why do your children cry in the streets? He leaned forward slightly, his scarred face sharp as a blade. Because you know this is no illusion. You know humanity has returned. Delegates shifted uneasily, some lowering their heads, others trembling with rage they could not act upon. The young alien officer, voice steady but filled with awe, whispered the truth for all to hear. They were never extinct. They were waiting. Above the Council world, the armada shifted formation. Thousands of cannons aligned, glowing red, their light turning night into fire. Entire cities below screamed, believing the end had come. But no shot was fired. The cannons held steady, aimed but silent. Fear was the weapon now. On the Iron Resolve, an officer turned to Red Captain. Sir, the planet is at our mercy. Do we strike? For a long moment, silence filled the bridge. Then Red Captain shook his head. No. Death is simple. Fear is lasting. Let them live. Let them wake every day and remember who waits in the dark. His officers bowed their heads. Yes, sir. Back in the chamber, Ambassador Hale's voice rang out, calm and merciless. You demanded our surrender. You will never hear it. You wanted us gone. Instead, you will see us in every shadow, in every silence, in every star. Humanity will not vanish. Humanity prepares. Her words fell like thunder. The insectoid delegate collapsed into his seat, mandibles clattering weakly. The reptilian general lowered his eyes. The hall that once roared with pride now sat broken. No one dared speak against the humans again. And above, the armada waited. Silent. Endless. Merciless. The council had shattered. And the galaxy knew it. The galaxy was no longer laughing. Every world, every colony, every empire had seen the same broadcast, the Black Armada blotting out the Council world's suns, their cannons glowing red but never firing. And in the silence, the galaxy trembled. On reptilian fortress planets, generals gathered in war halls. Their claws slammed against tables, their voices roared with forced pride. "We must unite," one shouted. "The council cannot fall to a dead race." But soldiers in the barracks whispered instead. They whispered of Red Captain. They whispered of black ships rising from shadows. Even the most hardened warriors shifted uneasily when they looked up at the stars. In insectoid hives, workers froze at their tasks. The hum of their labor was broken by the click of fearful mandibles. "The humans live," they whispered to each other. "The ghosts return." Queens demanded silence, but their commands fell weak against the tide of fear. In avian spires, leaders lowered their banners. "The council has failed us," one said quietly. "The humans will decide the new order." Their citizens gathered in the plazas, watching the skies with wide, fearful eyes. Children asked their parents the same question again and again: "Will the humans come here too?" Across the stars, whole fleets retreated from their posts. Admirals ordered withdrawals, commanders locked down strongholds. Borders once guarded with arrogance now stood empty, left open to shadows. The galaxy had declared humanity extinct. Now it prayed humanity would not notice it still lived. On the council world, panic swept the streets. Citizens screamed as the Armada's cannons glowed above them, painting the night sky red. Armies braced for impact, but no fire came. Instead, the silence spread deeper, heavier, worse than any bombardment. The people realized the truth: they were not spared out of mercy. They were spared to live in fear. Inside the council chamber, the insectoid delegates' mandibles clicked weakly. They have not struck. Perhaps they will leave." Ambassador Hale turned her cold gaze on him. Her voice was sharp as a blade. "Leave? No. We are already here. In your records. In your fleets. In your shadows. You cannot erase us." The reptilian general lowered his eyes, his claws limp. For the first time, he had no roar left. On the Iron Resolve, Red Captain stood at the viewport, watching his fleet stretch across the void. His officers reported in calm voices. "Broadcasts reach every empire, sir. Enemy fleets retreating across all sectors. Galaxy-wide panic confirmed." Red Captain's scarred face remained unreadable. His voice was cold, merciless. "Good. Let them tremble. Fear will fight our battles before we arrive." One officer hesitated. "Sir, why not strike now? Why not finish the council?" Red Captain's eyes burned with iron fire. "Because death is an ending. Fear is forever. Dead worlds are forgotten. But the living will remember every time they see the night sky." His words carried through the bridge. His officers bowed their heads. "Yes, sir." Back in the chamber, a young alien officer stood again. His voice was quiet, but clear enough for all to hear. "They will not destroy us," he said. "Not yet. But they do not need to. Their silence has already won. We are broken. The galaxy is broken." Delegates turned toward him, but no one denied his words. They had all felt the same truth. Above the council world, the Armada shifted. Thousands of cannons glowed brighter, bathing oceans and continents in crimson light. Entire cities froze, believing the end had come. But the fire never came. The glow faded. The weapons held steady, silent once more. The message was clear: we could. We choose not to. For now. On reptilian fortresses, insectoid hives, and avian spires, the same whispers spread faster than light. The humans are back. The Armada waits. Red Captain lives. The galaxy had declared humanity extinct. Now the galaxy declared something else. Earth prepares. And in the silence, across 1,000 worlds, the galaxy trembled. The council world was silent. Above it, the Armada stretched across the void like a wall of black steel. Thousands of human warships floated in perfect formation, their engines glowing faint red. Their cannons were aimed at the planet, steady and merciless, but they did not fire. On the surface, billions looked upward. The suns were hidden. The night sky was gone. In its place, the shadow of Earth's return. The galaxy held its breath. Inside the council chamber, fear ruled. Delegates sat pale and trembling. Some gripped their seats, others lowered their eyes, unable to meet the human gaze. The insectoid delegates' mandibles clattered helplessly. The reptilian general's claws scraped against the table, slow and broken. No one spoke of victory. No one spoke of pride. The chamber that once laughed at Earth now waited like prey before a predator. Ambassador Hale stood calm, her black uniform sharp against the golden light. She did not move. She did not need to. The armada above spoke louder than any words. Then, the doors opened. Heavy boots echoed on the marble floor. Red Captain entered. His long black coat swayed as he walked, his scarred face lit by the glow of the chamber's high lamps. His eyes burned with cold fire. The air seemed to tighten with every step he took. No one dared breathe. He stopped at the center of the chamber. His voice was not loud, yet it cut through the silence like thunder. You declare us extinct. The insectoid delegate flinched. You erased us from your records. The reptilian general lowered his eyes. You laughed at our weakness. You mocked our silence. He turned his gaze toward the massive display above, where the armada filled the skies like a steel crown. And still, here we stand. Across the galaxy, broadcasts carried his words. On reptilian fortresses, insectoid hives, avian spires, every world heard the same voice. Billions watched as the scarred human spoke from the very heart of the council chamber. Red Captain. His eyes swept across the delegates. His voice sharpened, iron and fire. You thought humanity gone. But humanity does not vanish. Humanity waits. He raised his hand toward the sky. You thought us weak. But humanity does not kneel. Humanity prepares. The chamber shook with silence. No one dared answer. Above the council world, the armada moved. Titans the size of cities turned their cannons downward. Cruisers aligned into firing walls. Carriers unfolded their wings, drones spilling into the void like swarms of black fire. The planet below trembled. Armies braced for death. Citizens screamed. Leaders prayed. But the weapons did not fire. The glow faded. The armada held steady, silent once more. On the iron resolve, an officer whispered, "Sir, the world is at your mercy. Shall we end it?" Red Captain's scarred lips curved into the faintest smile. No. Death is quick. Fear endures. Let them live. Let them look to the sky every day and remember who waits in the dark. Back in the chamber, a desperate delegate cried out. Why spare us? Why hold us under this silence? If you mean to conquer, then strike. If you mean to end us, then finish it. Red Captain's gaze cut through him like a blade. You do not understand. His voice was calm, merciless. This was never conquest. This was never revenge. This was a reminder. He stepped forward, his boots echoing in the silent hall. You tried to erase us. Remember instead. He turned toward the great doors. Before leaving, he looked back one last time. His eyes burned, his voice low but heavy as iron. This was only the beginning. And then he was gone. Above the council world, the armada began to withdraw. One by one, in perfect order, the ships slipped back into hyperspace. The skies cleared slowly, stars returning where once there had been only shadow. But the silence remained. The fear remained. Across the galaxy, whispers spread faster than light. The humans live. Red Captain has returned. Earth prepares. No one laughed anymore. No one mocked anymore. Every empire, every world, every soldier and child looked to the stars and felt the same truth. humanity was back. And the galaxy would never forget.